Very methodical and conscientious man. We're now coming up to the dead centre of Watchet. This is where the funeral took place, Mr. Chivetts. That used to be here. And this is now Hardy Flat, and this is the Undertakers. And this building here to the left is where they used to lay them out. You know, make sure they stay straight. I was here. Another old part of the town. And here behind where the double doors are, the new double doors, there used to be a man called Bill Thorne, and he used to repair all the bicycles in the town. And he used to go around and say, "Hello, Mr. Thorne, can you fix my bicycle, please?" And he'd say yes. And he did it for donkeys, 50, 60 years. Real character again. Here, this is still, in the old people of Watchet, still known as the milk bar. Because the farm used to make ice cream and cheese and milk, and this is where it's sold from. If you go into the Esplanade, you will see a picture of Reg Williams, one of the Nicholases, stood outside here having a drink. Now it's unusual to see Reg Williams with milk in his hand, because he was a prolific drinker of cider and sherry schooner chasers. Yes. On his gravestone, I worked with Reg for 12 years at the Free Press. He was a compositor, and on the gravestone it's got written, Reginald Williams, known for his ready wit. And there wasn't, if you could get one line on him, he'd have 3 or 4 lines back on you. And he used to say, "We've got you bending now, haven't we?" And this is his expression of making you colour up and kind of feel a bit of a chump. I did say chump, CH. Okay. The milk bar. Right. I haven't finished yet. This was the old council offices when it was Watchet Urban and District Council, and then it all became West Somerset Council. The town council was to the right, but this building was owned by the Wyndhams. But it's now not owned by the Wyndhams. Mrs. Kappa lives in this one. But we'll come down this way a bit. Right, now, this lady owns a house, but the council and the clockmeister of the town, which is Mr. Stephen Waterman, who took over from Ralph Allen, he has to make sure that the clock's in good order and repaired, and he has access to it. And they say there's no numbers on there, just Elizabeth II. So the workings, the electronic work, well, the electrical workings of the clock are in the council chambers, but the mechanics is up there. So he has to make sure that it all works properly. This was a kind of, you can see some of the old photos. This is where the gentry will stand in this area here. There's a civic do. Hello, Dorothea. And it will all happen here. So the oi polloi like myself, we have to be the other side of the street. This is where all the gentry will stand to do things. And it comes from Lady Street in Dalverton. This is red Firestone. They used to build the kilns with this because it was called Firestone. It didn't crack with the immense heat. It's a type of sandstone harder than that. It's got a lot of quartz in it. Blimey, it's going to catch a car. This is quartz, which you find a lot on our beach. That's limestone. And if you look into the limestone, you can see the mussel shells. A bit closer. You see the little lines of the mussel shells. Yeah? What we'll do is go the other side of the road, and we'll talk about coming to the building's end, we'll go down the road. Watch your one built on cars, right, is he going to turn that one off? Yeah. Here is another one of the original cobbled areas of Watchet. There's also some behind the chemist. I've got a feeling behind that shop there. There's still some cobbles left, but there's very few little cobbles left. Now this bank house, I think it was the Midland here. It was the Midland, was it? It was the Midland. And they still have, in the building itself, it's still called the Strong Room. It was that thick. But when they were developing this house to become a hotel or a guest house, you'll have to tell it. Up in the roof, they came across an area which still was a lookout, and there used to be a captain who had this house, and I got a feeling either it was called Captain Hole or Captain Marty, but I'm not quite sure. But he was allegedly the man who sung the shanty, which goes, the animals came in 2 by 2. Not the one that you have, but there's a famous shanty called The Animal Comes in 2 by 2. So that's allegedly came through the captain that lived here. Right, this building and the one which is now the St. Margaret's Hospice are probably the 2 oldest buildings in Swain Street. So this used to be a barber's many years ago. But these 2 and St. Margaret's Hospice, 2 oldest buildings in this street. They look like it too. Look how that's bowing out up there. Yeah, well, that's. I suppose I'd bow a bit if I was that old. But watch, it's full of little nooks and crannies. You've got a building over there, and you've got, as you go down to the boutique, you go between the boutique and what was the stair cupboard. You know, there's a little alleyway there, and it's like there's 2 or 3 houses back there. You just don't know they're there. And the same with where Mr. Tapp's news agents is. There's 2 or 3 or 4 houses at the back there. So it's a quirky old place, watch it. But this originally, watch out, madam. Originally, it was the co-op. It was a grocery store. And then it became a picture house. And then it became a kind of a club called the Go Sport with snooker tables and dancing and entertainment. And then it got turned into the doctor's surgery. But here we are. What's left of the co-op? And I'll try and get this right this time. This was not the engine shed. The engine shed used to be down further past Govier's Crossing. This was the parcel shed, or goods shed, correct? Thank you. Right. This area here is going to be developed, and they're talking about moving the council chambers from there to over here, and you know, kind of developing the boat museum and the council chambers as a future project. But Cliff Cabs, as I say, you come in to watch it and you kind of think, oh God, what are we coming into? And so this is up for development, and I expect it'll come from government money. But the boat museum, it's all done volunteers. They don't get any money from anywhere apart from the people that walk through the door and donate money. About 10 years ago, when we had the great tsunami in Indonesia, here we raised money, raised £3,000. We did CDs, we had a shanty night in here with a group called the Hearts of Oak, myself sung as well, and a few other notable shanty singers in the area. And we did a CD, and that's been sold ever since. And it's called Shanties in the Shed. We did it with just a bog standard single mono microphone.
Dave, the bus is coming round.
It came out fantastic. And you will hear the buses, and you will hear the steam trains on it. But it was a bit of a windy night and cool, but we raised a lot of money, and we raised enough money to get 3 boats with a fisherman in Indonesia. They were made out of fiberglass, so maybe those boats are still being used now. It's the old saying, isn't it? Don't give a man a fish, teach him how to fish, and you'll feed him for life. So I said, give a fisherman on a day, you'll feed him for a day, teach him to fish, you'll feed him for life. Anyway, here we are, coming into Harbour Road.